Why, hello. This is the second season of the series if anyone wants to get caught up. You chose. I choose. Firepaw woke up in the same den. His fever subsided and he was no longer stressed. You noticed Graypaw and Blue started looking at him in concern. Are you feeling better? Graypaw asked. A bit, the apprentice frowned. Are you going to kitty pet? Sandpaw growled. Am I going to kitty pet? What does that mean? I'm trying to ask. Are you going to be sick? At that moment, the apprentice convulsed. Oh, Bluestar looked worried. Firepaw looked up at the clan leader. What did you eat? I think a mouse. It tasted terrible. Oh no, please don't eat anything poisonous again. The master cat walked in and she looked furious. Hey, get out, hissed Spotted Leaf. The apprentice looked up at the medicine cat. They were just visiting. Why do you want the leader and my friend to leave? The apprentice asked. You chose sleeping emoji. The apprentice woke up in the dream world. He could feel the wind in his fur and saw a creature. It was tall, didn't have paws, had long ears, brown fur with a spotted back and a short tail. It ate some of the grass, noticed him, then ran off. He watched as all the rest of the creatures and the cats in the forest ran away. Then he felt the ground shake. He could not believe it. He could see another cat. It had amber eyes, long white and black fur, and a red collar. Smudge? The apprentice thought, but why? He watched as Smudge went for a walk before nearly falling as a ravine opened. There were gemstones. The kitty pet looked amazed. The apprentice tried to walk over to him, but he ran in fear and hissed at him. The apprentice woke up in the apprentice den, seeing his friend. It's almost moon high. You chose smiling emoji and yawning emoji. The apprentice looked up at his friend, who looked down at him. You should be asleep. So should you, Firepaw replied. Also, may I tell you about a dream I had? Graypaw lay down to be at the same position as Firepaw. Of course. So I saw one of my past friends. Who? Smudge. Smudge? Who's that? He was my friend. Black and white with amber eyes and a red collar. Oh, so he's a kitty pet. When was it? The apprentice fell asleep once again. He woke back up in the dream world. This time, near one of the two-leg nests, with his old friend, who was purring loudly. He is asleep. You chose smiling emoji. Smudge, wake up! Firepaw meowed. Smudge's eyes opened, his eyes showing annoyance. Just let me sleep longer. It could have been a good dream, he hissed. I want to know more about what happened, the apprentice mewed. Fine. After you left, I felt sad by my new cat. She lives where I live at. She reminds me of you. Curious, stubborn, but kind. Her name is Cody. Also, remember Henry? The fat tabby who complains? Yes. Well, he ran to the woods, unfortunately. None of the two legs could find him. Oh, okay. Firepaw could hear a yowl, but he didn't know where it was coming from. He decided to look for the source of it, but it wasn't anywhere, so he chose to woke back up. There, he saw Graypaw, who looked down at him in despair. He let out a sigh of relief, then growled, I was worried sick about you. I thought you were dead. Thanks, Starkling, you're still alive. Now follow me. You chose follow Ravenpaw. Graypaw looked at the apprentice, who was focused. He decided to ask, Hey, where were you? Dream, the apprentice replied. The same one as the last one. Just that? Okay. Lionheart and Ravenpaw were worried about you. Please don't fall asleep on us again, he said, before looking up at Tigerclaw, who glared down at him and Firepaw. You're late, he growled. For the both of y'all's punishment, Tigerclaw, Lionheart grunted. This is the first time this has happened, and we should give them another chance. Ugh, fine, Tigerclaw groaned. The apprentice could see a shadow in the distance. You chose slightly smiling emoji and slightly frowning emoji. Firepaw followed the group. We will be going to the hunting grounds to practice hunting, Lionheart meowed. Without anyone noticing, the apprentice ran to the shadow. "Get back here!" Tiger Claw hissed, his claws unsheathed. Lionheart looked at what was happening. Same with Grey Paw. The Grey Apprentice glared at the shadow and hissed something under his breath. The Clan Deputy just stared in shock. The shadow stared blankly at Firepaw before walking out the bush to reveal itself. The shadow was... Smudge? Where is his collar? Why is his firmware matted? You chose calm emoji. "Hello, Smudge," Firepaw trilled. "Hi," Smudge purred, then looked up at Tiger Claw, who was fuming with anger. "Well, he is a feisty one." He then looked back at the apprentice. "How are you doing? Could it be better?" Wait, why?" My owners died after being hit by a monster. I managed to escape," he said, a hint of grief in his voice. "And what happened to your collar?" It was ripped by a twig, yeah. Get out of here, kitty pet," the dark brown warrior spat. The Great Apprentice walked to Smudge. "I don't trust you," he growled before stalking away, side-eyeing the loner, signaling that he's watching him. You chose bored emoji and feather emoji. "Are you planning to join Darkland?" the apprentice asked. "Yes, why?" "I was just a bit curious." "Okay." After training, Firepaw had the opportunity to ask Greypaw why he doesn't trust Smudge. The Grey Apprentice looked at Firepaw. "Oh, hey there, Firepaw. What do you want to talk about?" Why don't you trust Smudge?" "Can you keep a secret from me, Firepaw?" "Yes." "Well, he seems deceiving, to be honest. I can see that he is lying in his eyes." "Does that mean..." "Yes." You chose sun emoji. It has been a few days after Smudge joined ThunderClan. His name is now Splotched Paw. Firepaw woke up after a dream about him hunting in the woods for... rocks? He could hear a loud hissing. "Well then, why do you look like you are about to leave the clan? Why are you trying to lie to us?" he heard Greypaw snarl. "I'm not lying! I hate you, Mouthbrain!" he heard Splotched Paw snarl back. The apprentice walked to the scene. There, he could see his past friend near the gorse tunnel. So that's the shadow he saw leaving. The ginger apprentice looked at the gray apprentice, who glared at the black and white apprentice, who looked at the apprentice in shock. Please leave. This talk is for warriors only. We're apprentices." Greypaw hissed at Splotched Paw. You chose confused emoji. Firepaw stared at Greypaw, who glared at Splotched Paw. He decided to ask, "Hey, what's your side of the story?" "Well," the Grey Apprentice replied, "I could hear him waking up and walking to the camp entrance. I followed him, and before he walked out the camp, I asked, 'Hey, where are you going?' And he said that it's not my business, and then we started to argue." "How rude!" The black and white apprentice hissed. "That is a made-up lie. I wanted to go out for fresh air, and he stepped in my way, hissing at me for no reason whatsoever." "What do you mean when I saw that you walked to Two-Egg Glacier Moon High?" "Oh, but Greypaw," Splotched Paw said, acting innocent. "I would never do that. I always follow the warrior code." The ginger apprentice looked shocked. Was Splotched Paw actually lying?